Hello my wonderful viewers and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we're going to pop back and take another look at the clip show episode of Glitch Tech Season 2 Episode 7. Now, I won't call this a theory video because I have no real theory other than the vague concept that Inspector 7, aka Barbara, has her own agenda and we don't know what it is yet. Here is the build-up. Phil and Barbara herded all of the glitch techs of the main cast into the Gauntlet viewing data room. Phil and Barbara there explain the situation in the game the kids are supposed to be playing and leave the kids there. However, before Phil and Barbara leave the room, presumably to go catch Kodama, that bunny glitch that was hunting the Hinobi store and was the source of contention between Bailey and Dabney Branches, and Phil's companion pet, just before that something interesting happens. And now right here we have a tidy little web of lives. Barbara, and by silent agreement Phil, first hid the purpose of the whole situation from the glitch techs, telling them that the server was down for maintenance when in reality they were supposedly going after Kodama. Phil lies to either the techs or to Barbara or both, saying that he is going to flush Kodama when in reality Kodama is Phil's companion pet and is later seen openly frolicking around the store, so Phil probably wasn't lying to the glitch techs. This raises a couple of possibilities. First, that Barbara was sent to the Bailey store to find the missing glitch that Phil was hiding in the store, Kodama. Then Phil pretended to flush Kodama down the server while keeping Kodama for himself. However, this theory has a lot of holes in it. Again, Kodama is seen bouncing around. It was a point of contention between the Dabney and the Bailey stores, so someone could have easily snitched on Phil. Why would a high-level inspector be sent for one minor glitch that has been wandering around for months, not really causing any problems? Why didn't Barbara think to follow up and make sure Phil properly disposed of Kodama? Even if she didn't physically follow Phil to the central hub, it would have been obvious later that Kodama didn't show up with the rest of the glitches for the weekly dump. Why was Kodama contained in active mode in that canister when Phil showed Kodama to the glitch techs instead of being busted down to a router form by that time? Phil is more than capable of busting down a glitch, and he would have had to come up with quite the story to not do that. None of this behavior makes sense unless the entire story about both the server being down for maintenance and the so-called capture of Kodama was a blind from the first. Unless Phil and Barbara were in it together and they were running some kind of test on the glitch techs, either psychological or safety training or something. Now, there are 1,000 non-sinister reasons to do something like this. It is commonly done in safety training. For instance, I was in a group like this in a room and we were told to count how many times the basketball team with the white uniforms bounced the ball in their mock game against the black uniform team. You were supposed to focus on counting ball bounces, and generally no one in the training group notices that a gorilla walks through the basketball game. Giving a group of trainees one set of instructions and testing something entirely different is common practice in training circles. In this non-sinister scenario, this might even give a third possible explanation for Mitch's bizarre behavior in addition to the two I mentioned in the previous video. Mitch, as the oldest, most experienced tech, might have had this style of training before and might have been in on the training. His attacks on 5 and Me-K.O might have been simply orders or suggested. Or not, there's no way to tell if Mitch is that good of an actor. However, it would be hard to say what Hinobi would have been testing for. This certainly wasn't the classic guerrilla safety meeting. And of course, this is Glitch Techs after all, and where there is a non-sinister possibility, there is always a sinister possibility lurking behind it. Hinobi regularly mind wipes its employees. Hinobi is keeping secrets as much as Phil is keeping secrets, as much as Inspector Barbara is keeping secrets. And I remember, just as I said, before this all gets started, Inspector Barbara enters the room, she greets the gathered techs, and then leans over to Phil and asks, "This is everybody, isn't it?" Which is the normal thing you ask before you begin a training session, except there's one main issue. The main issue being that this is not by any definition everyone. Sure, we as the audience know that this is the main cast, but no character within the show could or should know that. The staff of the Hinobi Bailey store is much larger than this, so this isn't everybody on the staff. This isn't even everybody on one shift, because as we've seen, one shift is usually larger than this group of techs. There is no individual grouping that I can think of that encompasses the entire main cast and only them at this point. Certainly not them alone. In the opening episode, Nyx and Zara provide backup for Mitch in the battle against the glitch of the tournament, but however there's no Hanish and no Bergie. In episode 2, we spot Bergie and Hanish, but there's no Nyx. Episode 3 is almost entirely focused on 5 and Me-K.O alone. Episode 4 is castle, crawl, and entrap several techs, but again, not all of them. The list goes on and on. There is not a single episode that all and exclusively the techs in this room were involved in. There is no pattern that would mark the main cast as everybody from Barbara's perspective. Now, after this episode, there is a battle that they do all participate in with Phil and no other techs from the Hinobi Bailey store. However, they are joined by the Dabney team as well, and interestingly enough, in this clip show episode, there's one clip that is from some future episode. On that note, can anybody spot the clip from the future in this clip show episode? Leave a comment below if you've noticed it, and tell us which one it was. But back to the main point. Inspector Barbara was insistent that Mitch, 5, Me-K.O, Hanish, Zara, Bergie, and Nyx were everybody. She wasn't sure, however. So there is some unknown factor that connects some group of people at the Bailey store, a group of people that Phil would be expected to know the members of, but that an outsider like Inspector Barbara wouldn't be expected to know the members of. On a side note, Barbara still creeps me out. Every time I see her, I break in a cold sweat and rush to my computer to check that I've submitted my payroll data correctly, even though I haven't worked for that particular bureaucracy in over a year. Did the creators ever get terrifying corporate administrator down in that character? So, here's my question without an answer, my wonderful viewers. What is this everybody that Barbara references? What connects the main cast of glitch techs so that the mysterious corporate would have an interest in testing and watching them? Was it some mind-altering event that only they were exposed to? Perhaps being exposed to it one at a time over time throughout the episodes? Give me your best theories, because I'm coming up completely dry on this. In fact, the only thing I can possibly think to link this to is Bollypuss, and only because that is a plot thread that has yet to come up anywhere else, and it was made such a big deal of in the first couple of episodes. Perhaps these employees were all the techs who have shown potential to take on this mysterious entity? Leave a comment giving me your best theories, and leave a like and subscribe. Check out the links below for a heartbreaking book about family and love, and check out the Teespring store for some awesome merch. Peace out, my wonderful viewers.